Hi guys, and welcome back to Chengi's World. So we're continuing with the cheating series. Guys, I hope you guys are enjoying it. I know it's not quite sort of dating advice and how to be sassy and classy and get your man, but there's so many women out there and so many relationship killers, and I think that to succeed truly in relationships, you have to enter into them with a predecision. You see, the thing is, sometimes we think, okay, I'll work it out when I get there. When I get into the relationship, then I will work out what I would do in that scenario. But I think it's really important to consider some of the repercussions and some of the things that you would do if something like this were to happen for you. And I just think that it allows you to set the right boundaries. It allows you to look for the right things. And it just makes that relationship that you're waiting for worthwhile, especially for those of you who are not dating or on a dating sabbatical, or those of you who are looking for Mr. Right. It's part of your preparation. So these videos are part of your preparation. But I would also recommend that you share them with as many women as possible, because somebody in your life is probably going through this. This is something that is not unique. This is going on a lot, and there's a lot of pain and confusion around it. And my heart is to bring restoration and to just create a platform that is honest and wise and hopefully helpful to somebody in this sort of situation. So today's video is how do I know he's cheating? That's a question that will pop up at some point in your life. Now, it's a very tricky one, this one, because depending on your nature, your personal growth, and the nature of the relationship that you have, if your relationship is tainted with insecurity, you're always worried about him and what's going on with him, and you've always been an insecure sort of person, then you really need to examine yourself and deal with those insecurities that are sort of hounding you. And if you feel that with every guy you date, you always fear that, you know, they're cheating on you, or you're always looking out for it, it might be because of a bad experience in the past, and that's something that you need to detox off. You need to really spend some time thinking, praying, and working through that. If you can't with yourself, then with a professional or your spiritual leader. You need to work through those emotions, because if you don't deal with past hurts, what somebody else did you can accuse a good man who is honest and trying to do right by you of cheating when he's not, and that can be really, really dangerous, because then you enter into self-sabotage patterns. So we don't want any self-sabotaging patterns. So this video, if you know that you're insecure, you've been cheated on before, and you find it hard to trust men, then you really need to go on a dating sabbatical, and you can watch my video on dating sabbatical on this channel. It will give you some tips and things that you should be doing on a sabbatical, taking time out for yourself and reevaluating what you think is true of men and what you think is true for you and what you deserve. So my that's my advice to you. But this video is for the woman who knows that she doesn't struggle with that she's just she just smells a fish. She just, you know, it looks like a rat, it smells like a rat, but she's just needing to be clear so that she knows how to proceed. And I'm going to do a few more videos about what you should do if the case is that he is cheating, and, you know, some of the things that we can do if, for instance, we are the ones that are cheating. What do we do in that scenario? Because we always assume it's men that do the cheating. So guys, before I get into it, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and share this video, and let's build Chengi's World. I'm so excited. We are growing as a community, and you guys are the most intelligent, you are the most switched on community I could have ever asked for. So you know what they say, your vibe attracts your tribe, baby. Okie dokie. So today, how do I know he's cheating? Well, the number one thing is your feminine instinct. Something inside of your gut will tell you something is off. You will feel it when somebody steps out of commitment or steps out of their covenant with you. There is a feeling, it's a spiritual communication that there is now a third party. There's something wrong. You feel the presence of somebody in your life, and most women just brush it off because we don't want to be the crazy wife, like in the Tyler Perry movie, Why Did I Get Married To? You don't want to be that girl, and you don't want to believe it, and you don't want to look for it, and you don't want to really be that woman. You don't want to be the woman that got cheated on and now is in the middle of a mess. So what you do is you bury your head in the sand and hope for the best. And that's always a really bad idea. So what do we need to do before we go off throwing his clothes out on the front yard or doing whatever is Hollywood recommends that we do? We really need to sort of have certain facts. So another thing, point number 2, so your instinct will tell you. Number 2 is guilty leaves clues. Whether you watch, a Hollywood detective movie or generally in life, guilty leaves clues. People who are guilty subconsciously want to get caught, because what they want to do, especially if they're in a situation where they're having a prolonged affair and the side chick or the other woman is insisting that they leave the main squeeze. They don't want to leave the main squeeze, but they can do things. They want to do things at home that will make the main squeeze say, you know what, laters. So whilst they won't want to get caught because that's just ugly and dirty, they kind of leave little clues. And the women they're with, if they know they're the side chick, tend to leave clues as well. They tend to leave strands of hair, and they tend to leave knickers in strategic positions, and they tend to... Guilty likes to leave clues. The guilty woman they're dating likes to leave clues. She will set the channel or she will leave her mark. Especially women, we leave a trace behind to sort of claim our territory. So there will always be some sort of clue, something on his jacket, something in the house, a strand of hair on his... There's always some kind of clue. So look for those very evident clues. Number 3 is he starts to pick fights on Friday nights, Saturday nights, prime nights and days that would have ordinarily been yours. So he'd come home in a strop on a Friday, make a blah, 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 make trouble, accuse you of something, start a fight and storm off. Because he knows it will buy him some time, so he can either spend all weekend away sulking, or he can go out for the night and come back really, really late, and you're not going to want to ask because you're feeling guilty. So it's a bit of a transferal of emotion there. So if you're the one feeling guilty, you don't have time to be questioning where he is. So you will find that at certain prime times, he will start being really picking fights. Another clue is he will start to be a little bit more careful about his appearance, go to the gym more, just be a little bit, and you will feel that it's not for you, that there's a reason he's doing this. He's been with you and out of shape for so long, or hasn't really cared, and now all of a sudden he's just taking a little bit extra care. That's a clue. And a lot of sort of late working nights. I'm working late tonight, honey. The job is calling me. Oh, we've got a new thing. And it kind of goes on. That's a little bit of a clue. Or he comes home and is unusually happy. He's lighthearted. He's happy. And there's no actual reason for it. There's no promotion, a bit more money, a deal. You're not particularly having a good time in your marriage. You're not particularly having one of those high moments where you feel like you just met him and you're so in love. So you don't understand why he's in such a good mood and why he's walking around in a daze and being helpful and good with the kids, and because sometimes they've come back and they've got that energy from the mistress, so they're able to sort of give it back to the home. So an unusually happy person, or very secretive. They become very secretive and they make a fuss around their phone. Now, I don't think you should ever demand or expect a man to give you his phone or his pin. I just think it's not high value. I think a woman should be secure, and a man and everyone deserves their privacy. I would hate for my partner to feel that they've got access to my phone whilst there's nothing in there to hide. I just feel like people and relationships need to keep space. But if, for instance, he does not allow his phone to be left, it has to be with him at all times, there's something to be said about that. And if you find that he tends to be quite defensive, then there's something. Now, all of these things individually really add up to nothing, but it's when they come together as a collective. The ninth thing is ask him, but be careful with this one, because you don't want to come across as though you're accusing. But what you want to do is just lay it out in the open. I've always said the things that are in the dark, they tend to bring more unhappiness than when we bring things into the light. Because if you've been with him long enough, you will know whether he's lying or not. And the shock of you coming outright and asking, so babes, are you having an affair? Like, just straight up, or, obviously you would go through the procedure of, there's something I want to talk to you about, is this a good time for you, I've got videos on that, how to ask for what you want, what men crave the most. So you would obviously go to him, and when he says, okay, babes, it's a good time to talk, then you would say, I might be going absolutely crazy, but are you having an affair? And just watch for his reaction. Watch for his just look in his face, because you should know when your man is lying, and he's not going to have time to find the appropriate response. And perhaps at that point, if he's a decent man, he might just own up to it or protest and maybe storm out the house or whatever. But, it's better than you killing yourself and going crazy in your mind not knowing. But if you don't want to take that direct approach, there's one that I only ever recommend. If you are, it's better than you going insane. It's better than maybe you don't want to ask him, because if you're wrong, it could really be like Volcanoville. So in that case, I would recommend, and I've done it only ever once in all of the time that I have helped and spoken to women, is to hire a private investigator, because they're brilliant and they will bring you the facts. And if you're gonna go down that road, make sure that you really, 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 really need the facts, and that you know what you're gonna do if those facts don't come back in a way that you were hoping they would. If he comes back with evidence, then that changes the game, and that leads to the next video that I'm going to be doing. So as I said in conclusion, none of these bits, your instinct, guilty leaves clues, picking up fights, careful with his appearance, late nights, those individually or one or two in a go are not a sign of guilt. But when you see maybe 4 or 5 of these in combination, and especially when your instinct has triggered you, if your instinct has not triggered you and you don't feel any kind of way and all these things are happening, usually there's nothing actually going on. And sometimes it might be a harmless flirt at work, or just a little moment that he's going through that's not worth the fuss, per se. That all depends on who you are. But I certainly hope this helps, and that it helps tame the paranoia, so that we can move on to the next stage of what would you do if you found out that he was cheating. Okay, guys, I hope this video is really helpful for you. I will see you soon on my next video. Take care of you, and I'll see you on Instagram, Facebook, and Chengi's World, and Twitter, Chengi Pot. Love you lots. Take care of yourself. See you soon.